I remember 20th of January 2007. I got a call from a recruitment consultant who said there's this leading financial conglomerate who's looking for a head of brand and marketing communications based out of Bombay. And the CEO is traveling to Delhi tomorrow and is looking to meet some potential candidates. Would you be interested? Why don't you go ahead and meet him? And I said, hey, thanks. But you know what? I mean, it sounds amazing, but I just recently signed 3 days ago, signed an appointment letter with a fantastic opportunity in retail in Bangalore. And it's really amazing because it's about establishing a brand from scratch, something that I always dreamt of, and I'm finally getting it. So thank you. And she responded saying, doesn't matter. Why don't you just go ahead and meet him anyway? There's no harm having a conversation, right? And I thought about it, felt unsure, but I said, okay, let's just go. It's fine. But the bigger issue was it was tomorrow, right? And I'm the kind of person that I like to prepare for an interview, right? What interview? Like, I like to prepare for everything. And here it was just tomorrow. So, what would I really prepare? But as much as I could, I just went ahead. I Googled him, the person that I was going to meet. And because of his seniority experience, of course, he was all over media. There were media mentions, quotes, stories. I tried to take in as much as I could, made some mental notes. There was one thing that really stuck with me. And with that, I went the next morning, sharp at 9 a.m. The interview was at the Oberoi. It was over breakfast. And as I walked in, I still remember I saw him seated at the table already with his breakfast in front of him. And as I came, he said, take a seat. And I pulled my chair, took a seat, and he said, breakfast. And I was like, of course, I wasn't going to eat no breakfast over an interview. So I politely refused, and we started. And as I saw him cutting his egg and biting into his toast, he said, Mansi, so you're into brand, marketing, communication. And I said, yes. And then there was silence, right? 3 seconds, 5 seconds, because I was waiting for the question. And then I realized, oh my God, that was the question. That was the end of it. Okay. So I was now supposed to read his mind, understand and think what is it that he really wants to hear, and answer that and hopefully get it right. So I did, and the entire interview went on exactly like that, right? One of the most unnerving, unsettling interviews of my life. 45 minutes had passed, and I finally saw him taking the napkin and dusting it off. So I was like, I think this is the end of it, right? And yes, he started pulling up his chair, so I knew that was ending. And then as I was closing, something struck me, right? I remembered that one thing I told you about that stuck with me. And I stood up and I said, you know what? Many years ago, I read something that you had said about the visiting card. And what you really said was the front of the visiting card, we have so much focus, we almost obsess over it that we start thinking that it is our identity. Little do we realize that it's temporary. It comes and goes. It's meaningless. What we really need to do is flip the card and focus on the reverse of the visiting card. And what's on the reverse of the visiting card is what you contribute, is the value you create for people, is the lives you touch, it's the difference you make. Start putting that down on the reverse of the visiting card because that's forever and that's your true identity. It stuck with me, I told him. And oh my God, he said, where did you read that? And he was so overwhelmed with emotion that he could literally hug me because he felt so good. We connected. There was a chord that struck. And of course, needless to say, within half an hour, I had a call from HR and I'd got the job and an offer at 2x my salary. Yes, a little embarrassed. I lied about that fact that I read it many years ago. And probably that's what landed me the job. But the point is, what stayed with me was the reverse of the visiting card. And that moment, right there and then, I wasn't lying at all. Because today, what I am, where I am, is because of that reverse of the visiting card. Because what I do today as a consultant, coach, trainer for business owners, entrepreneurs, corporates is try and make a difference. So, this winning point is my promise forever because it is my reverse of the visiting card. So, that's my little story as to how the winning point came by. Please do subscribe to my channel if you like this, because this is what it's going to be about, my lessons from my life and how I take them into business. Thank you so much and have a great day.